Hi everyone, my name is Alliyah and welcome back to my podcast. In today's episode, we are actually going to be talking a bit more about timing like we did in the last episode. So stay tuned and let's get into this episode. So, why do we talk so much about timing and why is it uber important when you're trying to transform your life, build your confidence, or basically just get your ducks in a row? Well, firstly, one of the biggest questions you get asked when you're coaching people or working with people is, when will something happen? And unfortunately, no coach or no light worker or no one else that you may turn to for help can actually give you that date, because we're all on our own unique paths. We've all got our own timing to deal with, and everything happens in our lives at a given time that's suitable for us. Now, I know that's something really difficult to comprehend, and I'll be really honest, when I first started on my journey, it really got to me that I could not see results instantly. I mean, if I'm practicing law of attraction, which in essence is like attracts like, I want to be able to see amazing things happen overnight, but it doesn't work that way. And one of the biggest blockages you will face is not actually having yourself aligned with what it is that you're trying to bring into your life. Now, when I say aligned, it's about having your soul in line with whatever it is that you're trying to bring into your life. So, for example, if you want to bring in, for example, a loving relationship because you're ready for a new relationship, for example, if you're not loving yourself and you are not practicing self-love, and if you are not actually healing and mending previous relationships that are potentially clouding your judgment, then the chances are you're not going to be able to bring in that relationship that you're yearning for. And then sooner or later, you're going to start doubting yourself, and then the cycle of self-doubt and self-destruction will begin all over again. So, if you're trying to bring in amazingness, you need to be at a place in your life which is amazing. And one of the key ways you can actually start doing this is actually being grateful for what it is that you've already got. Now, if you're at the bottom of the barrel and you're thinking, heck no, I've got nothing to be grateful for, then, there's a few things that you can start doing, which is start a gratitude diary. Now, a gratitude diary is something that you basically will use on a daily basis to write down things that you're actually grateful for. And when you start thinking about the blessings that you actually have, it's amazing how many we actually do have. We live in a country that is safe. It's not war torn. And I'm talking from the United Kingdom right now. And I have a job. I'm blessed. I have my health. I have the NHS that supports my health. I have my children. My children are healthy. My children are blessed and supported by everybody around them. I have a loving network of people. All these things I'm grateful for. And when I write them in my diary, it reminds me every single day that I am pretty much highly blessed in regards to my life and everything that I've actually got. That automatically sends out a signal, so my energy automatically rises to an extent of I will potentially bring in more of that amazingness and awesomeness. But until I start to register all the blessings that I actually have, I can't actually make way for more blessings to actually come into my life. So when you start to count your blessings, you potentially turn yourself into a magnet for more blessings. So if you start counting everything that's amazing in your life, you're going to attract more, which is law of attraction. So it's like attracts like. The same can be said for when you're thinking negatively. So if potentially you're thinking about negativity and you're starting to doubt everything, then funnily enough, that's exactly what you're going to be attracting. And we often start to feel quite desperate when we're trying to bring amazingness into our lives, new relationships, new jobs and things like that. And that is potentially the worst place you can potentially try to actually manifest things in from. Because when you're feeling desperate, that energy is quite low. That's a low vibration, as many people will call it. And you're pretty much going to bring in low actual vibes and low blessings to an extent. So you really need to be in the right mindset, in the right place in your life to be able to bring things in. Which brings me to the point of, if you're trying to bring amazingness into your life, is your life ready for amazingness? Are you ready to bring in a spouse into your life? Have you healed from the past? Are you letting go of the grudges that you've got against people? And yes, I know it's very, very difficult for some of us to let go of grudges. And, if you're going to hold on to a grudge, I'd ask myself the following question, which is, do I really want to hold on to a grudge and potentially jeopardize my future of happiness? And my answer to that is, well, no, I'm not going to allow anybody to jeopardize my happiness, and that person certainly will not be me. I will not do that. These are the type of things and type of questions I ask myself. And these are the type of questions I ask my listeners and people that I work with. Because holding on to a grudge, again, is a low energy. It's a low vibration. So if you're holding on to a grudge and, for example, against an ex, for example, maybe they cheated on you or maybe they used you and all these things, and you're trying to bring in a amazing spouse that's pretty much the opposite of that person, that's going to love you, adore you, honor you, stand by your side, be your sidekick, be your co-pilot, however you want to put it, then you really need to let go of some of that anger or that negativity you're holding. Now, letting go and forgiving are two completely different things. So if you can't forgive, no one's going to force you to forgive. Even as a Muslim, that's one thing that I've learned along the way of like reading different books and things like that, that you don't have to forgive people. It's beneficial to your soul. But if you can't do it, then let go and move on. Stop feeding energy to the past if you're trying to manifest something amazing in the future. You really, really, really need to be in a positive place to bring in positive things. And when you're in a positive place, things will naturally start to come into your life and are naturally more positive, are naturally more amazing, and your life starts to change. But until you actually reflect on your life and fix the potholes on the road, you're not going to be able to do that. And not many of us are willing to reflect on life when we're feeling that low. And the truth is, that's when you really do need to reflect on life. You need to look at what's going wrong, in your opinion. You need to look at what things you could improve. That's when this happens. You look at things then and, fix it. And how do we fix it? Well, that's how we fix it. We start to concentrate on them. We move forward. We start to heal. We start to have conversations. And I know some people will say, oh, but why would you reflect on something and constantly bring it back? You're bringing back the negativity. Well, if you're reflecting on something and calling somebody out for their bad behavior, or you're calling yourself out for holding on to negative vibes that are potentially damaging yourself and those around you, then that's not necessarily a bad thing. We do need to address people's behavior, and often people can say stuff like, well, you're just holding on to the past by bringing that up again. Well, the reason a lot of us do bring things up from the past again is because no one's actually listening and no one's reflecting and no one's actually potentially trying to fix it. So these are the type of things that we look at, especially when we're thinking, why are things so delayed? Why are we not bringing in that amazingness? Why haven't I got a new boyfriend? Why have I not got a new amazing relationship? Why have I not got a brand new, job? Why have I not been able to move? And I know a lot of people have been thinking and reflecting on life during lockdown in particular about whether or not they're actually happy where they are. And I've got to admit, I've actually thought about this. I think prior to lockdown, I wouldn't have actually been as open to moving to various different parts of the United Kingdom and worldwide. But now when I look at it, I think to myself, the world's such a big place. There's so many different opportunities out there. Things happen for a reason. And I'm more than happy to trust divine to take me wherever it is that I need to go to thrive and be a better person. As long as it's safe, I'm all game for it. And these are the type of things that I've started to reflect on, especially during lockdown. And I know a lot of other people have done pretty much the same as me. We look at things in different ways. And someone will say to you, well, I've let go of the ex. I'm not hung up on the ex, but they're then stalking them and creeping up on them on social media. No, you haven't. You haven't got over the ex. If you're still there creeping, checking up on them and things like that, or you've got like a decoy social media account, which, don't deny it, there's loads of people out there that have got them, and you're actually checking up on people from the past, then you're not over it, because you're still giving that episode in your life energy. You're not over it. You haven't healed. You need to heal. You need to let go. And that's when things will start to come in. That's when the timing is correct. Because let's be really honest. If you, for example, have got an ex and you're still stalking them online, and to be honest, if you're stalking them in real life, you are certainly asking for trouble. Sooner or later, you're going to get caught and you're asking for so much trouble when it hits your front door. But anyway, that aside, and also I do not encourage you to do that. That's illegal. Do not do that. But if you're stalking them online, for example, which, like I said, I don't understand why you'd do that. You haven't healed if you're doing that. But if you're stalking them online and you're trying to bring in somebody new into your life, somebody new comes into your life, say they're amazing, the best thing ever, you're really getting on with them, and then suddenly they discover that you're still stalking the ex, they'll be like, well, hang on a minute, what's this then? And you can give them 1001 reasons to why you're actually doing what you're doing. It's going to look like what it is, which is you're not over the ex. So why would timing bring somebody in? Why would divine guide somebody into your life if you're actually not over the ex? And that's pretty much the same with every part of your life. If you're in a job where there's, I suppose, business that needs to be taken care of and you're not taking care of it, then chances are you're not going to find a new job. If you don't believe in your own skill set and you're pushing yourself to get a new amazing job, chances are because of that lack of self-belief, you're not going to be able to manifest in something amazing. You may bring something new in, but it may not be as amazing as you wanted. And I can vouch for that, because when I was looking for different jobs around the city that I'm currently in, because I wanted to extend my CV, I wanted to extend my portfolio, I wanted to work with various different people from various different backgrounds, I tried the same organizations at different stages of my life. And when it wasn't right for me, it didn't happen. But when it was right, the right job opened up and I got into certain companies up and down, the city, which is exactly how it should be. If something isn't right for you timing wise, it won't happen. And these are the type of things that you need to trust. But until you get yourself in order, you get your house in order, you get your little ducks in a row, it's not going to happen. And if it does happen, it's certainly not going to last that long. And that's just the way it is. So look at your life. Look how things are going. Look at how many grudges you're really holding. Look at what it is within that job that you don't like. Now, if you're struggling with the relationships within your work environment, as long as it's not toxic and as long as it's not bullying, maybe you need to fix those relationships. Maybe fixing them will speed up timing on bringing in a fantastically new job. That's the way I see it. When it comes to moving, for example, maybe right now, if you were to move and you're not able to move because you're not finding that ideal home, maybe it's because right now you're best staying put and not spending too much money on moving because you don't know what's around the corner, which could be maybe a better job opportunity that's local to you that you would have wanted to stay for. Or maybe if you saw that job, if you had have moved, you'd want to come back to the city and you wouldn't be able to get into the same areas again. You won't be able to get your children into the same schools again, so on and so forth. And these are the type of things that we look at when we're looking at timing. And the more you explain these things, the more people generally think, well, okay, but that doesn't sound like my life. It's everybody's life. It's everybody's life. Whatever it is that you're trying to bring in, you need to let go of whatever it is that's harboring you and whatever is anchoring you down with negativity and bad vibes before you can bring in anything amazing. So if you've got the baggage of the ex and you can't let go, then you're not going to be able to necessarily bring in somebody amazing to potentially move forward in your love life. If you're harboring ill feelings towards a neighbor, for example, and you're trying to move, chances are you're not necessarily going to find a house with a brilliant neighbor if you're not able to bury the hatchet with your current neighbor. These are the type of things that we look at because it's kind of like, it is karma to an extent. And the more we think about it, the more we talk about it, and the more energy we give the idea of reflection, letting go and moving on, the better we can make ourselves. I mean, do we really want to give energy to something that no longer serves us any purpose? Well, no. Do we really want to hang around and think about an ex that, isn't worth our time of day, but we're still stalking them online and we're telling ourselves that we've actually healed? No, I don't think we do. These are the type of things that you need to ask yourself. If you're there trying to bring in awesomeness and you're doing various different activities, say you're meditating, for example, maybe you're journaling, maybe you're doing all these different laws of attraction activities, and yet nothing's happening at a speed you can see. If you're coming at it from an angle of being desperate, then you're potentially blocking yourself with that type of vibe as well, because it's quite a low vibe to be desperate. If you're not able to bring in amazingness and you're thinking to yourself, shoot, why is this not happening? I'm doing like the things that they show you on YouTube. I'm burning all these bay leaves and I'm writing in these diaries and I'm doing the 55x5 challenge. And, I'm telling myself I'm amazing. I'm reading my affirmations every day. Do you believe what you're actually doing? Those steps you're taking, do you believe in them? Because if you don't believe in them, they're not going to manifest. And it all starts within you. You need to believe in everything that you're actually doing. When you write in that journal, or if you write in like a future pacing journal, for example, if you don't believe what you're writing, you're not going to bring that in. It's not going to come in. So you need to love yourself and believe in that vision. If you're doing, for example, 55x5 affirmations challenge, and you're writing down, I am complete, but you don't believe you're complete because you believe what makes you complete is to have a spouse and you haven't got one, then that isn't really going to have any influence on you in a positive way either. There's loads of different examples like that I can give you, but it all starts within you. You are the one who's going to reflect on life. You are the one that needs to fix whatever it is that you know is wrong. You are the one that needs to have more self-belief in yourself. If you're coming from an angle, which is where I was many years ago, which was like quite low hope, low aspirations, you need to start building yourself up to a place where you believe in yourself before you start to tackle bringing in amazingness. So you need to do a lot of self-development work before you can actually bring in amazing things. Self-development is things like your self-love, being able to understand what self-love is, being able to understand your value, being able to, in a way, extend on your current skill sets if it's a new job that you're looking for. Doing all these things that are going to better yourself, even things like looking at your health, getting fitter, changing your mindset. All these things will help you get to a place where you're able to bring things in faster into your life, manifest them, bring them in, and timing will show you that you're now on the right path. But until you get all your other things in order, that won't happen. And as a coach, as somebody that writes, it's mind-boggling how many times I write it down and think to myself, why don't people get it? But the reason people don't get it is because we haven't been taught to sit down and reflect on things. It's not a skill that we're given. If you look back on school, for example, for a lot of us, when we gave our work in, it was marked, it was given back. Rarely did we get feedback that would reflect or make us reflect. Yes, there were certain teachers that wanted us to reflect on things, and I can think of a few amazing teachers that I had. But it isn't something that is done. Not because schools wouldn't want to teach us that, but because they're time restricted. But it is a skill that we need. We need to be able to reflect. And just because we're reflecting does not mean we failed. We're trying to grow. This is growth. This is transformation. This is self-empowerment. Reflection is a key element of that. We need to be able to reflect on things. So if you're trying to bring something amazing into your life, sit down, think about it. Why do you want to bring this amazing item or thing or power or energy or person or job into your life? Think about it from a genuine point of view. Is it because you want this person in your life, you want a relationship? Or is it because your sister's got into a relationship? Do you want this new job? Or is it because you're simply not feeling the energy where you are right now? So rather than put in the effort to develop yourself at work, is this going to be an easier option for you? Now, I'm not going to criticize you for that, because sometimes we do need to take the easier option in life, and that's absolutely fine by me. But these are the things you need to reflect on. And then you start to wonder, are you coming at this from a bettering myself point of view, or am I coming from it from a desperate angle? Now, if I'm coming from it from a desperate angle, chances are I'm not going to be able to build up my internal energy to bring in something amazing, because inside, if I'm not feeling amazing, then how on earth am I meant to bring amazing in? And these are the type of things that we're going to look at. These are the type of things that we reflect on. Sit down, have that conversation with yourself. If you're brave, have it with friends and family. If that's, if you've got those people around you that are quite happy to have these conversations with you, sit down, reflect on it, and then break down the barriers that you know are in your life that are potentially stopping this from happening. So if it is stuff like you're harboring feelings for the ex, honestly, really not worth it. And I mean that genuinely. It doesn't matter what they've done to you. Do you really want to give them more of your time? Honestly, you gave them a decade, or you gave them 5 years, you gave them 7 years, whatever it was. You want to give them more. I mean, come on. Think about yourself. Put yourself first. Put yourself first. Forget other people. Forget everything else. Put yourself first. Think about you. Think about how important it is to you. If you're holding on to the ex, you're still giving them your energy. They might have cheated on you, they might have taken you for a ride, used you, whatever it is that they've done to you, and chances are they've hurt you quite badly. If you carry on harboring those feelings or giving them that energy and reflecting on that past and things like that, they're still in control. You're not in control. You're not self-empowered. And that's a big thing, because we want you to be self-empowered, because self-empowerment leads to so many amazing, awesome things that, it's just crazy. When you start to feel self-empowered and you feel it and then you build up on the momentum, it's amazing what you can achieve. The amount of things that I thought I wouldn't be able to achieve, and yet here I am now. And I'm thinking to myself, it's just crazy what I've managed to achieve after I started to self-believe, after I built my confidence back up, after I became self-empowered. And it's just crazy, because I never would have thought that back when I was at my lowest. But I had to have self-belief, and it took me ages to get to where I am today. I would have loved to have got here faster, but it wasn't right timing-wise, because I wasn't ready for it. I had to let go. I had to move on. I had to pave the path for myself, in particular for everything that it is that I wanted to achieve, because I can't assist others in achieving what I want them to achieve if I'm not able to, I suppose, get rid of my excess baggage and reflect on my own life. So what I want you to do is think about what it is that you're trying to bring into your life, and you're miffed at the timing of it. And have a honest conversation with yourself and think about it and think, well, hang on, what is it that's actually blocking me? Am I blocking myself? And the chances are 9 times out of 10, you're blocking yourself. We need to fix ourselves before we can fix anything else. And then after you've done that, go back to the actual issue, break down those boundaries that are actually stopping you from bringing this amazingness in, and trust the process. Trust that you're on the right path. Trust the process. And believe me, things will start to unfold at the correct time when you start believing, and when you've actually removed those boundaries, and when your mindset is in the right place and your life is in the right place. Things will naturally start to unfold, and the chances are when they start to unfold, they're going to unfold at rocket speed, and you're going to be so busy doing so many different things that you're actually going to forget about the journey it took to get there. And that's an amazing feeling, when you're so busy that you forget about things. And you're thinking to yourself, wow, you have to sit and sort of reflect on how it was back then. And it's nice to be able to express gratitude for how far you've come. And I honestly do believe that, gratitude's attitude. The more we express it, the more amazingness we bring into our lives. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap up this episode. If you've liked what you've heard, then please do like, share, subscribe, follow, and let others know what it is that we're trying to do, because we're trying to create a community here. We want more people to know what it is that we're trying to do, because we want to spark more transformations and more amazingness into people's lives. So with that being said, guys, I hope you've all enjoyed today's episode. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.